What to expect if Tinubu or Atiku wins, says Sheikh Gumi. Hello everyone, welcome to newsspottv. Sheikh Gumi, a controversial Islamic cleric who is known for his contacts with bandits and herdsmen terrorizing the northwest and north-central parts of Nigeria, in the second part of his interview with Vanguard's columnist Donu Kogbara and a British journalist Patrick, speaks on the 2023 polls and the main contenders, Fulani herders and locals crisis and the indigenous people of Biafra, secessionist bid in the southeast, amongst other issues in the polity. Let's take a look. First question goes, has negotiation ever worked? I mean, if you look at what Daesh has done in Iraq and Syria, there's nothing about that group that indicates they would negotiate. And Sheikh Gumi responded saying, ISWAP and IPOB are the only two groups that want to destroy the nation. How do you deal with them? You deal with them through dialogue. When you dialogue with somebody, you understand the complexity of his agitations and what he's looking for. You can use their functions to fight them back. If you can get Boko Haram out online and Ansaru online, they can take care of ISWAP. And the IPOB Southeasterners who are ready to remain in Nigeria are negligible. Another question says, what do you think is the standing of groups like ISWAP, Boko Haram, and Ansaru among the generality of the North? People? Because Northerners seem to have suffered more from their attacks than anything else. And he responded, oh yes, definitely. They don't have any ground in the North. They don't have. They can only live in the forest. But you don't hear them in malls preaching or in... Nobody accepts them. Nobody accepts their ideology. Nobody. So another question came saying, former Emir Sanusi of Kano criticized the ideology of Boko Haram, ISWAP, and so on. He said the problem was that a lot of mainstream Islamic teachers are unwilling to condemn these groups because of the pushback from local people. Is that true? And he responded saying, no, I think it is a perception. The local people are far away from accepting this ideology. Another question says, are they afraid of that? And he said, no, if they capture the village or something like that, people just have to succumb to them. But like, for instance, in the Kaduna area, nobody is following them. In Kano and Sokoto, nobody is following them.
They tax their local people.
The general population.
So in some sense, those local people have to respect those groups as the authority, but they don't follow the ideology. If this goes on, you are in a bit of a situation where the constitutional authority, state government and police forces will become irrelevant. No, they can't get more control. It is like a burning candle. Yes, they are strong now, but there are mistakes the government is making. We hope if we have a government that listens, it will take proactive methods to pipe it down. For instance, Ansaru is ready for peace. They are ready to sit down, but they want a genuine partner in this talk. In the end, they may require us to give them a place where they can do their religious practices, whilst they are not harmed. I don't see any problems with that. We have the Zakzaki movement. When it started, they were saying it was Boko Haram. You take these people out of their ignorance. Killing will not solve the problem. Another question is, so would you explain how these groups came to approach you? And he said, they didn't contact me. They contacted my media experts. As I was going into the forest, I was talking with herdsmen. You have to differentiate them from herdsmen. The herdsmen insurgency is different from Ansaru, who just came in recently. Another question is, what is the difference between the two? And he said, herdsmen are the indigenous people in the forest. They are fighting back against vigilantes that have been killing them and preventing them from going to the market. Unfortunately, the government took sides. Instead of the government being in the middle, it is supporting the vigilantes. The government was harming vigilantes against the herdsmen. That is why they have become armed and wild. They control the forest, but Ansaru is a different element that came into the vicinity, and they have a symbiotic relationship with herdsmen. We don't want the herdsmen to adopt their ideology. They contacted my media experts because it portrays facts about the crisis without putting political or religious sentiments. Another question is, when did these herdsmen become a problem? And Sheikh responded, it actually started in 2010. That was when their cattle were rustled. They were displaced from their land, and the military came to kill a lot of them in the name of fighting cattle rustling. This is the genesis. And the volunteers started killing them too. They are the victims of cattle rustling, and they ended up being killed. That is why they took arms, and this is an insurgency. They are taking arms to fight back. I have been there. I have talked to them. I have sat down with them. I have seen them. If they get a partner who would encourage them to drop their arms, they will do that. They want a government that will build schools and hospitals and take their children to schools. I built a school in the forest, and as of now, I'm taking care of about 600 women, children, and men. Why can't the states do that? So why did cattle rustling start there? Somebody wants to destabilize the region. They want to deprive the herdsmen. Their cattle were rustled. Their land was confiscated and revolted. This is just a revolt. Another question says, who wanted to destabilize the region? And he said, many people are pointing fingers. I will not mention names. There are foreign interests. People are interested. There are a lot of solid minerals in this area, and some people want to destabilize the area so that they can capitalize on it. Even foreigners are involved. How many foreigners were caught in the bush? Fulani in Mali have herds of castles. They would come here to kill. He has his land and his castle. What is he coming to Nigeria to do? The question goes. And he said, in fact, it is the opposite. Many Nigerian Fulani has gone to Niger. Some have gone to Cameroon. They are dispersed because of the tension now. They are leaving Nigeria and going to other countries to hide their cattle. Another question says, do you feel Fulani people in Nigeria are getting a reputation for being blamed for the instability? And he responded, there are two types of Fulani. There are Fulani that is herdsmen. Traditionally, they inherited cattle. They will tell you, this cattle we inherited about 5 generations ago. They have refused to educate themselves. They only have cattle as their capital. And there are Fulani all over the town. In fact, I don't think there's any tribe that has intermarried with other tribes than the Fulani. If you go to the east, you will see a Fulani speaking Igbo. I have seen a Fulani who speaks Igbo. I have seen a Fulani who was speaking Yoruba. I have seen a Fulani who was speaking other languages. And in the Hausa area, a lot of these people you see are Fulani. That is why they coined the word Hausa Fulani. After all,
now let's take
Fulani
some of the comments.
Turned into Hausa. And these herdsmen are fighting anybody, whether you are Fulani or not.
Correct. How do you,
once you are a town dweller, you are part of the government.
Get the funds to
you are part of the people that are
provide for
them,
600 people in the forest, if not through kidnapping and banditry proceeds? Another said, this man is something else. I don't understand this our country called Nigeria. Somebody else said, he is a retired army officer, a medical doctor, and has a big private school in Kaduna and farm. He's not just a scholar. Another said, they want to take over Nigeria and subjugate the rest, like they did to Hausa people, that's all. They are invaders and terrorists by nature. This is the reason Biafra must depart from them, since it is the policy of their caliphate and government. Another person said, he is free to say anything he wants to say, only in a country like Nigeria. Another person said, you don't even know that these Islamic terrorists are better than your Biafran agitators. Why? The terrorists have sponsors who even feed them, arm and defend them. Again, they know how, when, who, and where to confront. But over there, you and your agitators are on one another's throats. In fact, everyone, including spirits, are hunted down. You can now begin your insult. Another person said, so tell us your own source of income. And somebody responded, Gumi has a mega private school. He has shops and many businesses operating in Kaduna. He's a medical doctor. Gumi is not an ordinary man that is financially struggling. Another said, if really this PMB is the same PMB of 1984, this terrorist financier will be cooling off somewhere. Somebody else said, you know Boko Haram and they know you. Nothing bad had happened to Nigeria like Boko Haram. All the Hausa Fulani are Boko Haram. IPOB is not a Nigerian problem. What they want is acceptable in the international law. And if properly managed, they will die a natural death. But you are Boko Haram and bandits just like average Northerner are. How many times have all Northern Emir who
tolerate IPOB and Yoruba Nation stood their ground on condemning Boko Haram, but Igbo leaders do so. Another said, blood is expensive. Was it not reported that insurgents in the north are foreigners? Why not return them to their own country or repatriate them? Another said, you build schools to use them for your kidnapping business. Fulani trip are worst enemies Nigerians have. Somebody else said, believe him at your own peril. Another said, but I heard that it was the politicians that was using the Fulani herdsmen to destroy their political opponent regime, including all the northern terrorists. Another said, these stupid terrorists don't ever categorize ISWAP and IPOB. They are not fighting for the same cause. IPOB fight for their rights. ISWAP is an Islamic group disturbing the peace of the whole world. Another said, both terrorists and IPOB have one common similarity: deleting people. So what are you saying? So other man said, this man is
Another
invincible.
said, so now what Sheikh Gumi is saying is that
the government should fold arms for foreign fighters to have peace in our country, Nigeria. Is that okay by him? Another said, all this junk explanation is not clear. You know the genesis of these gun-carrying herdsmen. How did they get the guns? To acquire one AK-47 or AK-49, you would sell up to 10 cows. Is that a profitable venture? You people brought Fulanis from all over West Africa and armed them to fight your planned jihad to grab land up to the Atlantic. You thought it would be easy run over because you have an ethnocentric president to ease the plots. Else, why were you championing Ruga, coercing state governments to forcefully adopt new cow ranching, pushing bills to claim all waters to federal government so herdsmen can freely create their colonies in those banks? Pathetic liars. Okay, so these are many more comments. Comments that trailed Sheikh Gumi's interview where he said what to expect if Tinubu or Atiku wins. The truth of the matter is that a lot of things are going on that we do not know, and some people do know things better than others. In fact, there are millions of others. But if we all have the common goal of making Nigeria work, then the country will be out of the mess. What's your opinion on this? Please drop your comments in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. May God bless Nigeria. See you in the next video. Bye for now.